All right, welcome back to another episode of Philadelphia Eagles Talk with Geoff and Matt as we head into the preview of the Eagles Broncos game. The 2-2 Broncos heading into Philadelphia as the Eagles do their swap back and forth each and every game this year. Home game, road game, home game, road game. That's how the entire season is going to go this year for the Eagles. So the Broncos coming in, good game, good coach, good defense, good offense. Pretty good test for the Birds this weekend. What are your opening thoughts, Matt?
Well, I think I'm not scared by their offense. Like there's nobody that's really overpowering. I think we'll have a good game defensively. There's nothing that's like overwhelming about Bo Nix and that Denver offense. They're good, they're consistent, they're well coached, but I'm not too scared. I think our defense will handle them decently. So what I am a little bit nervous about is our offense handling Nick Bonito and that defense and us being able to push the ball down the field. So it'd be a great weekend for the Eagles offense to come alive on all cylinders. That would be great because now's the time to do it because this defense is legit.
Yeah. It'd be nice to see him come alive for two halves or four quarters, however you want to slice it. Instead of Jekyll and Hyde have been the last couple of weeks. It's really getting frustrating to the point where, A.J. Brown had said his things. He finally spoke to the media today, or this week, rather. And I don't know. I don't know if you saw his comments, Matt, and what do you think about them? I think we'll just get that off the agenda for this podcast. Quickly talk about what you're because we talked about it at length last podcast. So now that he's come out and spoken to the media about what he said and why he said it, what are your thoughts on that? Did you see it actually? Did you see what he said?
Well, I care. No, I didn't see what he said, but I know he got called out by Seth Joyner midway through the week. And then he deleted his post that he originally said about Seth Joyner. And Seth was like, if you're going to say something, like, you don't delete that stuff. You come and discuss it like a man.
Seth is the wrong guy to
which is exactly what we were referring to with. Yeah. Well, and you're not going to earn any favors with old school Eagles fans that are blue collar Philly and the diehards when you are going to go down that road. And so, and Seth was just calling out the same stuff that we did, basically, of like, you don't say that you're going to be full of like all of these virtues and then go against every virtue when you tweet it out on the loudest horn out there, which is social media. So I don't really care what AJ had to say to the media. I care more about the report that he had a locker room discussion with all the guys in the locker room. That's all I care about. You tell me that they had that discussion. I don't need to know what was said. That's the right way to handle it. And hopefully you don't put your, step on your, by doing this stuff again. Like, learn your lesson. Like, don't be contrite about it. I'm like, and voice your opinion in the locker room and voice it to the people that care. Don't go outside. Don't start airing dirty laundry. It doesn't fix anything. And all that does is ruin what should be a Super Bowl run season. So I'm like, go ahead and like, if you don't appreciate the team that you're on now, then you can go back to the Titans. Good luck with that one. Right. You can go to the Browns. Good luck with that one. Like, appreciate it, man. Yeah. So I'm moving on from it. It's good that you took care of it with the team, but that's all I would have cared about anyways.
Yeah, here's my two takeaways. One, I found out that he was a journalism major in college. So there's no way, and no matter what he says, that he, was misspoken or taken out of context or didn't mean what he said or some of the things that he said. That type of stuff is total nonsense. There's no doubt that he did it intentionally, and he did target someone, whether it was Kurtz, whether it was the offensive coordinator, whether it was Sirianni or whomever. That was a message for someone. If he's a journalism major, he knew exactly what he was doing and why. So that aside, the other stuff that he said I thought was good. Which was, he talked in house and he's just had some frustrations boil over and he wants to just contribute more. He knows the team's winning. He just wants to contribute more because he knows the team can do better than what they're doing out there offensively. We all totally agree with that. So, but just have those discussions in house. We talked about it last week. No need to put it out there. And like I said, the fact that he did, he knew exactly what he was doing. Guy's a journalism major. I mean, come on now. Come on, AJ. Don't be telling me that was some kind of passive mistake or whatever. Come on now. He knew exactly what he was doing. So that stuff I don't buy whatsoever. But to your point, about playing with another team, I just think that the Eagles are finally, we know how the Eagles deal with players like this. And as good as he is, and we kind of, at least I think I alluded to it last show, is he keeps this type of stuff up. I don't think the Eagles are going to bring him back. Like, this could be his last season as the Eagle. And I've had some blowback from Eagle fans. And I just think that they're in denial. Any Eagle fan that doesn't think that's a possibility, at least, I'm not saying it's definite, but anyone who doesn't think that's not a possibility with Eagles, that they just finally let him go or to make a trade this off season. I don't think it'll be this year, but any off season, you just don't know this team. I think they got money to spend in other areas, other critical areas, people to sign. And if they have their number one receiver, they have to keep dealing with this stuff every time they slump. It's just going to wear thin at some point. So that's my only two thoughts there on AJ Brown. We'll move on now to the Broncos. Well, we'll get back into the Broncos discussion. So Matt, you mentioned the linebacker there. I don't know a lot about this guy. Have you seen him play? Like, what are your? I mean, he's definitely got some impressive stats. So this guy Benito, 4.5 sacks already, and he's got 5 tackles for a loss. Do you know who he is? Like, have you watched him play?
Yeah, I don't know. Without looking him up, I can't remember if he was a rookie last year or if he's just a young player, but he's been making plays ever since he was drafted. And that's part of the reason why they were able to move on. Like, they let Bradley Chubb go a couple years back or before last year to the Dolphins. And, they didn't miss a beat because this guy's coming up right behind Chubb and is a dominant playmaker at that linebacker level. So he's a concern. Patrick Surtain is a concern.
Yeah.
And then we've watched Lane Johnson kind of go through a banged up start to his season. So even if he's out there and starting, like, you're wondering, like, maybe Lane's last season is this season. He's not been too healthy consistently. And it's these little knick-knacky things, right? It's not like his back is hurting him, like his back had problems before, or the ankle. It's like these weird little, like, I'm getting old type things. I woke up this morning and my shoulder's hurting. And I'm like, where the hell did that come from? Well, it's because I'm 50 and I don't play football, but that's the way I'm feeling it. And Lane, I feel like, wakes up every other morning and is just like, something else ain't right today.
Yeah, so, starting to feel,
like we got Fred Johnson there. Hopefully the line starts getting a little bit more consistent, like Landon Dickerson as well. Like, he's not been playing his best football.
Yeah, he's playing hurt.
He's playing hurt too, and he's a warrior.
I think Lane. He definitely is.
So they just have to. It would be nice to have them smooth some things out, because Denver will get after that line, and they're the best defense that they've played so far, by far. So
are they the best defense they've played so far?
Yeah,
definitely better than Dallas. Tampa's got a pretty decent defense. Who else did they play this year? It's amazing my short-term memory. Who else did the Eagles play? Rams. Rams got a good defense.
Yeah, but
I think, you know what? As far as maybe you're right.
Rams have a weak secondary. They can't stop anybody from scoring.
Yeah. By the way, speaking of the Rams, total side discussion, but Mac Jones actually looked really good the other night.
Yeah, he did.
Just a little side conversation.
I
was impressed. I'm like, damn.
I think Brock Purdy's job
looks real comfortable.
I think,
just a quick little observation.
They might have a Carson Wentz problem up there in San Francisco, where they just paid their guy $265 million, and the backup is just way better.
I was impressed by Mac Jones. I really was. I didn't really watch much in New England, and he didn't have a good supporting cast in the Patriots. But watching him play last night, I'm like, man, this guy looked confident. He was taking just 3 steps back and boom, firing a ball. He doesn't even have any wide receivers right now in San Fran because they're all injured. He made Bourne look like a freaking all-star.
Yeah,
I was impressed by Mac Jones. Anyway, just total side conversation.
No, same here. And the only thing you want to say about that is, like, it's just shocked. Like, what stupid play calling that they would have lost that game. Like, I understand it. Like, how do you lose by going for it on the 4th and 1? Like, there was like 3 minutes left. Like, why not just kick it? I don't get it. But
yeah, that and McVay's been one of the most vocal coaches about the tush push and how it should be banned and blah blah blah. I'm like, yeah, I bet you wish you had the tush push last night.
Yeah, if you practice it, you might get better at it. But you guys can't get a yard when you need to. So
yeah, tie the game. I mean, it's just stupid. That was dumb.
Yeah, so Eagles Denver.
Yeah, I just wanted to go back to really quick on this guy Benito. So last year he had 13 and a half sacks. This guy's legit. And this is his 4th year in the league, man.
4th year.
You know what year he was, but yeah, and Surtain's one of the best lockdown corners, arguably the best cornerback in the NFL. So AJ, if he's lined up with AJ, which he more than likely will be, you know, this is going to be another tough matchup for him. You know,
good defensive coordinator, good offensive coordinator, good head coach. Like, this is just a good, steady football team. Bo Nix still is prone to make mistakes here and there. I'm not too afraid of their running.
He's got 4 picks.
So if they're going to have Denver has to keep up, but what was that?
I said Nix has 4 picks already this year. 4 interceptions. 7 touchdowns, 4 picks.
For Nix?
Yep.
Who's Nix? Oh, Bo Nix. Quarterback. I thought you were talking about cornerback.
No. Quarterback. Bo Nix. He's thrown 7 touchdowns, 4 interceptions.
4 interceptions. Yeah. So I think there's some vulnerabilities there that the Eagles defense can exploit. So Jalen Carter, let's show up. Let's get some penetration from those double teams. Let's get some pressure on Bo Nix. He can scramble and he can run with the ball well. Yep. But I think the Eagles linebackers can just chase him down and punish him. So I think the Eagles defense match up well with their offense. I think the Denver defense matches up well with the Eagles offense. So that's where I think it's just going to come down to turnovers, right? So whoever turns this ball over, probably not going to win the game.
Yeah. I think this is a dangerous team. I mean, we'll get into predictions obviously before we end the show, but I think this is a good test for the Eagles. I think this is a solid team, both defensively and offensively. The Eagles can't have one of these games where they just don't only show up for one half or whatever. They got to find that consistency in offense. I think the Eagles defense, you kind of alluded to it, I think is playing really well. They've been banged up. We just lost the guy, we can't pronounce his name. We didn't know at the time when we did our post game, but he messed up his arm, tricep injury. He is lost for the season. So another defensive end done. I'm talking about Akinowa, whatever his name is. What is it?
I think it's Okonkwo.
Okonkwo, yeah. He's gone. So another guy down. And when are we going to see Olajari? I hate these defensive men. Can we just have like a Smith, Johnston, Thomas,
Yeah, those days are gone. Fletcher Cox, Brandon Graham, those are easy names.
These names are just
They released Eli Ricks to make room for 2 more defensive line signings. So they did pick up 2 guys and put them on the practice squad. So I'm not sure if they'll pull one of those guys up for this weekend, but Ricks is gone again. 2 more defensive linemen in.
Dude, Ricks has got to be like, guys, can you make up your mind? He's like released and signed every other week.
Yeah. Yeah. So
I didn't see those transactions though. Who'd they pick up? Were there any names?
No, they're guys that have been practice squad players.
Okay. Well, they definitely need some help there. I could see the Eagles making a trade the trading deadline to get a defensive end here.
Well,
I can see Howie trying to pick somebody up at the. I don't know who's going to be out there, but
I don't know either. But
yeah.
I would imagine if Howie gets like a high value, would they trade within a division to go get Brian Burns off the Giants and trade them AJ? Sure. But you never know. They pull some strings thinking 2 years down the road.
Yeah, I can't see. They're not going to get a name like that to trade deadline. I'm just thinking somebody like that could be. I mean, if they got somebody like Burns, that'd be an absolute steal at that time of year. I'm just looking for somebody who's just like a solid. Like I'd like to get like Derek Barnett back, minus the penalties. like somebody like that, just a kind of a
experience.
That type of guy.
Yeah, I can see that.
I think they're going to need it. They're going to need some help. Defensive line, man. It's so on the edges. It's just they're really thin. Now, one of the things that's interesting, and I definitely want to talk about this week, is talking about how thin they are, the defensive end position, and the fact that Nakobe Dean I don't think he's going to return this week. They're probably going to get him one other week to just get ready, but they opened up the practice window, and he can actually start this week if the Eagles want to. Not start this week, but he could play this week. But the fact that Nakobe Dean is back, you got to wonder if maybe that means that they might move Campbell or at least rush him more off the edge, or even Bond. Bond used to be kind of an edge pass rusher before he, in New Orleans. So you wonder if they'll bring Dean in for some packages and move up Campbell or Bond to rush the passer. What do you think about that?
Possible. Well, certainly it adds another piece to the Vic Fangio defensive puzzle. So I would imagine if Nakobe's healthy, that he does get some snaps, and they probably experiment with that a little bit to see what they've got there. And if Campbell can get some pressure from the edge, well, then that might be a permanent thing going forward for this season. So I don't know. We'll see what shakes out. It'll be interesting to watch those defensive lineups when Nakobe Dean is in, because I don't think they would take Campbell off the field. I do think they would put him in a edge rush position. Maybe they even play some I don't think they would go full 3-4 on it, but they might play like a regular 4-3 where they have the three big linebackers out there with a regular two safeties, two cornerbacks. Maybe they're experimenting with some of that stuff because Dean can move, he can cover, and so can Campbell. So that'll be interesting to see how they play that out.
Yeah, people forget Dean before he got hurt last year had over 100 tackles. He had a lot of tackles for loss. He had that big interception in the end zone. I mean, he had a really good season last year before he got hurt. We'll see. There's also a very bad injury that he's coming back from too. So is he the same player? You got to find that out too. But it'd be interesting now that he's in the mix if they do line either Bond or Campbell up on the edge to get a little extra pass rush. That's all.
No, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw that. And it'd just be interesting to see what they start working with. So, Vic is still tweaking things. And it's good to have Nakobe back this week or next week if he doesn't play this week, because we're coming out of that preseason football month of September, and we're going to get into mid-October. And this is where you really want to know what kind of chess pieces you have. Are they all pawns, or do you have a bunch of queens and rooks and knights out there, So I think I have faith that the Eagles defense is going to be pretty darn good again once they get all those pieces operating together, just like last year. Plus, they haven't had the Nebraska kid on the field yet either. And so if they're like defensive line, I would love to see if he rotates in at end position, or maybe you put him in the middle and you move Carter out to end and just let him experiment a little bit,
Yeah. No, I don't. I'm wondering because we haven't got much of an update on him, his injury. So is he out if he was on IR, then he should be destined to return too, like Dean.
Yeah.
I haven't heard anything about him at all. So have you heard, is he coming back soon, or what's the deal with him?
Yeah, I haven't read up on anything with Robinson. So I don't know, but it'd be neat to see him get on the field here sooner than.
Yeah. Well, Jomo's starting to come alive. He had a really good game last week. He had that awesome sack. The sandwich sack where they just absolutely just smothered. That was an awesome sack. It was like just a wave collapsed on that play. So it's nice to see him. He's finally getting to the quarterback because we need that, without having Williams here this year. We were kind of waiting to see that. Carter's definitely playing. Another guy's playing hurt. Carter's playing with a bum shoulder. And it's definitely impacting his play. He's not being the dominant force inside, but he's still creating problems in there, and he's still getting double teamed, and he's still freeing things up for the rest of the line to get in there. But we'll see. I think they got to get pressure. We'll start getting to the keys of the game. By the way, before we do that, shout out to Q, our boy Q, NFC Defensive Player of the Week for his. I think he had 5
pass breakups.
Yeah, thanks. Last week, and he just continues to just be impressive, man. Love that guy. That draft is going to be one of the best drafts getting him first and then coming back and getting Cooper DeJean.
Mm-hmm.
Two, I mean, perennial Pro Bowl / players for the next hopefully a long time.
They're extraordinary players. Yep. And not even close to their ceiling yet, which is fantastic.
Whoops. Wrong super. Let's go to the keys to the game, folks. All right. So, Matt, let's lead us off with some keys to the game. I know we kind of touched on a couple, but let's break it down a little deeper here.
I think, I've been saying commit to the run, play good defense. Commit to the run, play good defense. Worked all year last year until the Super Bowl, and then they had to change it up and throw it. And then clearly it's not working this year because teams are stacking up and they're ready to stop Saquon. Although Saquon has been this close to breaking those big ones. Two of the games that they've played so far, he's been that close to breaking a big one for like 60 yards. So maybe he gets that, but I'm going to go with the key to the game is Jalen Hurts and this passing offense. And can they get into a rhythm and can they stay in the rhythm, right? So, because the Broncos, like you said, are going to be there for all 60 minutes. So can we get that passing game going and get it into high gear and keep it there? That would be the first key to the game.
Yeah, it's a good one. We need more consistency out of this offense, and we need better play and consistency. I agree with you. Commit to the run. I think there's two things impacting the run though. One is I don't think it's Barkley, by the way. Some people are starting to say, "Oh, see, he ran for 2,000. He's having his down year because he ran for 2,000 last year." I don't think so. He looks exactly the same to me. I think the line is banged up and the holes haven't been there. So as hopefully the line gets a little better and gets a little healthier. They may be banged up all year though, so it just might be a year where there's not the holes that Barkley's used to getting. And there was a stat last year that he was before they first made contact with Barkley, he was 4 yards ahead. Now it's like cut in half. Now it's like he's getting hit for the first time. First contact's 2 yards, so that's half already just when he's first touched going through the line. So that just tells you it's the line. And like I said, I'm watching the eye test. Barkley passes it for me. I don't think he's slower or anything like that. So that's got to improve. I think until it does, like I mentioned this last week, pass to set up the run. Just flip the script here. Get the passing game going, and that should hopefully, while the line is starting to heal or trying to heal up, just to try to do something a little bit different. They're keying on Barkley. Every single team is keying on Barkley. So get this pass game cranking, and then the holes will slowly start opening up for Barkley. That's what I would do. And I think you're kind of saying the same thing. I just said it in a different way. But I think that's I guess I'm just going to add on to your key to the game and say I think that the line just flip the script, pass to set up the run, and get that game going consistently. Hit Goddard over the middle. I think Hurts has got to throw the ball, challenge, let his receivers make the plays. Don't wait till they're open. Brown's not going to be open. So if you're going to try to get Brown the ball, you're going to have to just throw him the ball and let him get it, which he can do. That's how good he is. But, if you're waiting to get Brown open, he's not going to get open. He's going to have Surtain on him. So give him a jump ball and let him go get it, because that's really the only way you're going to beat Surtain anyway. And then obviously let's get Devontae Smith going too, because he even has less targets than A.J. Brown.
Yeah.
So think about that, right? A.J. Brown's complaining he's not getting enough catches and targets. Well, Smith has got even less than he does. So got to get the passing game going. Next key to the game, Matt.
Well, the defense has to make some turnovers. So I would say let's shoot for 2 turnovers. Like, whether that's 2 interceptions or 1 interception and a forced fumble. Maybe it's a special teams play again. Can we get 3 weeks in a row of something amazing happening on special teams? That'd be cool. But something like that. So I'll go for 1 turnover and a big special teams play, like a run back, something like that. I'll go that. But if the Eagles can get 2 of those things, then this game will be in the Eagles side of things. And if they can prevent from giving up those bad things to the Broncos, that'll be a win. And of course, that might sound like John Madden talking, where I'm like, well, of course, 2 turnovers on one side is going to absolutely equal a win. But I think that's what I would be expecting from the defense. I'd be like, I want some turnovers this match. So I want some pressure on Bo Nix. I want some exotic blitzes would be cool, like blitzes that they don't see coming, where we just don't get blocked and just crush them. I'd love to see one or two of those, especially if they're messing with Campbell and Dean and where they're going to place those guys. Let's see some aggressiveness on defense.
Yeah. I would be shocked if Dean plays this week. I think they'll probably hold him out one more week, even though he's did return. He's been practicing. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But I think Vic usually likes to give these guys just an extra. Like, he hasn't had any. It's not like he was playing in training camp or OTAs and he's come back from injury. He's missed all of that. So that's why I don't think Dean's going to be playing this week, but we'll see. I wanted to, I already talked about the stats with Nix this year, 7 touchdowns, 4 picks. So, he's been giving the ball up. And, to your point about turnovers, I think the Eagles will get an interception, maybe 2. We'll see. But I think they will get one. I'm trying to make a quick prediction. I was going to say Q, but I'm like, they may steer away from Q being the NFC Defensive Player of the Week, and they may target the other side. Now, Adoree Jackson's coming back from injury, so I think he'll probably, be at the number 2 slot again, for the Eagles. So does he get one? I'm not really saying. I think you might see Blankenship. I'll go out there and say Blankenship or Cooper DeJean will get a pick. We'll go with one of those 2 guys.
Okay.
But yeah, pressure. Obviously, Nix is prone to get picked off. He's averaging 1 a game, so let's get a pick. I think Dobbins is a guy, and Eagles were struggling against the run last week, so they got to strengthen up the middle there and contain the run a little better. Dobbins can be a dangerous running back when healthy. The guy's always been a productive back. He gets hurt a lot, but when he's in there, man, he's good. So they got some good weapons on offense. Cortland Sutton, not really worried about him because they're going to have probably Q on Sutton, so they'll shut him down. Who's the other guy there?
Mims.
You got Mims, and there's the other.
Marvin Mims and Tony Franklin.
Franklin, that's the one I'm thinking of. So they got some decent guys for the passing game. Do they have a good tight end? I don't even know who their tight end is. I know it used to be Noah Fant, but he's long gone, right?
What team Fant is playing for now? Like, he's been on 3 different teams, I think.
Yeah, I forget who their tight end is now, but doesn't come off the page to me at the moment.
No.
But
Ingram,
good
Ingram.
Offense, good defense. This is going to be solid. What?
Evan Ingram is their tight end.
Oh, Ingram's on Broncos?
Yeah.
All right. Well, he's obviously good. So they got a weapon there. So I'm not really worried about tight ends because usually it's either Cooper on the tight end. If they're a good one, they usually put Cooper on them.
Yep.
So I'm not really concerned about that. But this is just a solid test. The Eagles got to play well. They can't have a down game before the 2 battles coming up with the they got 3 games coming up after this one. They go Giants, I think Minnesota, and then the Giants again. So we'll see what the Giants do this weekend. They got a game down in New Orleans. The Giants could probably win that game. They might be on a 2-game winning streak when they play the Eagles.
That's fine.
We'll see. I'm not worried about the Giants right now.
No.
We're going to worry about Denver. Get to 5-0. So I don't know if there's any other keys to the game. Turnovers are always key. Special teams are always key. Also, that game last night, the Eagles also have identified a total weakness on the kicking game of the Rams. Because did you see what the 49ers did? They blocked that late field goal, and they went exactly the same gap that you saw the Eagles go through and block that kick. I don't know if you caught that. But they exposed that huge gaping hole in the special teams of the Rams. I thought that was kind of funny. All right, let's get the predictions. We'll wrap this thing up. We're right at the 30-minute mark. So, Matt, how do you see this one playing out? Here we go.
Well, I don't know what I picked at the beginning of the season, whether I picked them to win or lose. I don't recall that. But I'm going to go with Broncos 23. Let's go. You know what? Broncos 23. Let's go.
I'll tell you who you pick after you make your pick.
I was about to go against the Eagles, but I'll go 27-23 Eagles.
All right, he's got a close one. 27-23, Matt's on the board. So this will be the second straight week that you went against your preseason prediction because you did have the Eagles losing to the Broncos.
But I do have a little snickering feeling in my soul that this might be the week that we lose one, but at the same time, it might be the week that offense comes alive.
That was funny how you just phrased that. A sneaking suspicion in my soul. Okay. I found that funny for some reason. It's Friday night. I haven't been drinking, but that was funny. It's sneaking suspicion in my soul. I almost feel like writing that down. Yeah, because you did have them losing 2 straight games to the Buccaneers, but you flip-flopped last week and went to the win and got the win. Yeah. I stayed with the loss and got the loss and got the, I was wrong. I have on my preseason prediction, the Eagles bouncing back with a win. I am not as sure as I was, I think, when I put that one down. I think the Eagles are going to lose. If they keep playing the way they've been lately, they're going to get bitten. And so do the Eagles right the ship this week and get things back online? I think it helps that they're home because obviously we know we were at the last home game. Eagle fans are not going to tolerate another performance like that.
Love Birds. Love them.
So do the Eagles eke out? But I see another close game, and the Eagles going to eke out another one?
They're tested.
They are tested, and they are finding ways to win. I think the Eagles will probably – I think they're going to gut out a win here. But I tell you, I would not be surprised if the Broncos win. I'm not saying that to give me an easy out here. I just really think the Broncos are going to play the Eagles very well. I think this is going to be a close game. And the Eagles just better not come out slow because I don't think they'll beat the Broncos if they have a half like they did last week. They've been, they needed special teams to bail them out. Matt's at 27-23. I like that. I like those scores. I always try to be different from me, but you're always kind of right, really close to where I am typically. Do I think they'll score more than 27 at home? Man, I don't know. The way the offense is playing doesn't make me all that, but I do think they're going to start. They got to get that running game going, man. Is Barkley going to finally get 100 yards this week? If you had to put a bet on that, would you say yes or no? Just off the top of the head while I'm thinking about what my score is going to be.
No.
So, okay, so you don't see Barkley getting 100?
No, I'd be happy if he hit 70.
Yeah.
But I don't think he hits 100.
Alex Singleton, by the way, the former Eagle, leads the Broncos in tackles. Just want to mention that. And we liked him when he was in Philly. He was a good player. I think this is going to be – I'm going to go 20 – I'm going to stick with the 27. But I'm going to go – is it hard to get 26 for points? You know what? Screw it. I'm going to go 28-27. Eagles by a point. Now, it could be 24, 23. I think it's going to be that close. I think it's going to be a close game either way. I know the Eagles, I think, are favored by 4. If I was a betting person, I would pick the Broncos with the points. I would. Easy. To me, that's an easy bet. Hopefully the Eagles surprise us and they go out and finally have an easy win. Win the game 20 or 30-13. Be nice. I don't see it happening yet. So that's what I'm going to go with. We'll get the Eagles a victory, close victory. Matt's going to switch again and pick the Eagles to win. It worked last week. Let's hope it works again this week. All right, any final thoughts? We'll wrap it up.
No, just props to Nick Sirianni again. I hope this A.J. Brown thing resolves itself, but Coach has been through several of these things every year, and he just always handles it well. I did see an interview with Dick Vermeil on – it could have been the Seth Joyner's show. I forgot who he was being interviewed by. May have been somebody else, but Dick Vermeil was very praiseful of Nick Sirianni too. And they were like, "Do you think this is going to be a distraction?" And he's like, "No, Nick's got plenty of experience dealing with these locker room blowups, and there's probably no coach that handles it better than Nick Sirianni when these things happen.
Yeah,
he doesn't overreact and he doesn't underreact. He reacts just enough for each unique situation that occurs. So I think he's an excellent coach. I think people that are not sold on Sirianni have to just admit right now and start keeping it there that, like, this guy is a great, exceptional young coach. And when we saw Sean Payton, for instance, leave the Giants and become coach of the Saints, like, Sirianni's in that category of, like, he reminds me of like a young Sean Payton. He's got control of his team. Only Peyton didn't have to deal with losing offensive coordinators and defensive coordinators like every other year. And I'm just like, the coaching ability of Sirianni is just
he's
with the top coaches. So props to Nick.
Yep. I think he's actually starting to get his own sort of coaching tree, and that's what happens with all good coaches. They get picked every single offseason, and it's already happened with Sirianni. As young as he is in his career, only 4 or 5 years coaching. He's already lost his offensive coordinator every single year. He's lost a couple of defensive coordinators. Vic, the only reason why he hasn't lost Vic is because Vic is, going to retire. He's not interested in going anywhere else, thankfully for us. But, it's just the only thing with Vic is you just want to keep on coaching. That's the only thing that we got to worry about with him. But otherwise, to your point, loses offensive coordinators every single season. Lost a couple of defensive coordinators, has to deal with some of this drama every once in a while with AJ or putting out this fire, putting out that fire. Seems to always right the ship or get everything back on track. And he deserves a lot of credit for that. And that's why they win. This team obviously fights for him, even if they're not playing well. They find ways to win. So, that big tiff apparently tiff last year with Hurts. You got through that. Everyone was saying that Hurts and him wasn't getting along and all this kind of thing. They seem to be fine this year. So a lot of that's probably blown up by the media. But, good point. Good closing thought. And with that, let's see if we can get the 5-0. 5-0 heading into the Giants with the schedule kind of finally gives the Eagles a little bit of a break. They can't overlook anybody, but certainly it's better than the juggernaut schedule they've had here to start the season. And then they got a bye week coming up in like week 10, I think, or somewhere around there, which a lot of our guys that we talked about, the Lane Johnsons and
they're going to need it.
World can just kind of get a couple weeks to heal up. By the way, the Giants game is Thursday night, so it's going to be a short week, but then they'll have 10 days off. So, they got a mini bye week coming up too. That'll help out.
Yep.
All right. Well, for Matt, this is Geoff. Thank you for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe. By the way, what's your buddy's name there that always comments on our show? Corey. Shout out to Corey. Sounds like he was a little disgruntled that the Eagles beat Tampa last week. But he made a comment like, we'll see you in the playoffs or something like that. So, we don't want to see Tampa in the playoffs. I'll tell you that right now. But at least we finally showed that we could beat them.
Finally.
But thanks, Corey, for your comments. And, if is he a Bucs fan? I thought he was a Niners fan. He's a Bucs fan.
He's a Niners fan, like grew up Niners fan, loves the Niners, still a primary Niners fan, but he's also a hometown, like he cares about sports. So he likes the Lightning, likes the Tampa, follows baseball. So when the Bucs are, he's paying attention to the Bucs.
Yeah. No, it's a good team. It's an exciting team to watch, man. Baker's fun to watch, and they got a good defense there, good coach. Yeah, they're not going to be easy for anyone to play. That's just one of those teams that you never want to see Tampa on your schedule. Certain Eagles don't.
No.
All right. So thanks again, Corey. Make sure everyone like and subscribe. Leave your comments as well. Join Corey and be part of the feedback and let us know what your thoughts are. All right. Until next time, fly, Eagles, fly. Go Birds. And we'll catch you in the post game after hopefully another Eagles victory over Denver. Take care, everyone. See you. Matt's flying.
Go Birds.